Hi everybody, it's Jean, and I'm just going to be doing some cutting today. And what I'm wanting to cut are some awesome borders. So I'm tearing up magazines, or books, and I'm just going to be doing some fussy cutting. And you know, I'm not going to cut out every little bit in these, but I just love to cut. I do love to cut. When I was a little girl, my favorite thing was to buy paper dolls and cut them out. Not particularly movie star paper dolls always, just any paper dolls. And I used to make doll families, paper families. And my best friend, Patsy, and I would go through magazines and we'd find a mom and a dad and some children, some pets, especially cars for Patsy. She really loved nice cars. I didn't care about cars. I'm trying to think what I cared about particularly that was better. But no, I didn't really care about cars that much. But anyway, and then we'd put our families in a magazine and keep it. And we play with those ones for a day or so. And then they get put away, and a few weeks later we'd have lost them, or they got tossed out or something, and so we'd make new families. So I guess that was probably the beginning of my journaling and cutting out, because I loved to cut up magazines as a kid. This book is full of great borders, and that's why I bought it. And I get these books at the Last Chance thrift store, and that means that if nobody else buys this book and it's in a huge bin of a bunch of other books that nobody's bought before, or they don't have room to store, they burn them. So I don't feel bad about cutting up books, even really beautifully illustrated books, because I like to use them in my journals, and I don't do it often enough. I don't know what is the problem. If I want to worry about that little bit of, I'll just do that. I do take liberties with cutting out. But I have all these wonderful magazines, and I think, why am I not cutting out of my magazines and my books? Did I finish telling you? I so bad I digress into other stories. After a few days in these bins, they burn it. They take the bin into the back and they dump it. And they dump it into an incinerator, and the books are gone anyway. So it doesn't bother me one bit to cut out from these books, because if I hadn't picked it up, it would have gone into the bin. Now I'm wondering if I want to leave that white. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, it might look okay on a white background, or I could color in that background and do a little reverse collage there. So I'm going to leave that. And I will say I'm glad to be back, although I'm in my art room and it's very cold. It's chilly in here, and it's because the door has been closed, and I've even been back a day and a half, and I didn't open the door yesterday, which I should have, to kind of warm up the room. But I'm happy to be back in Ohio. It's overcast and rainy today. And I will say that while I was in North and South Carolina, every day was sunny. And I love sunny days. So that's kind of an issue. But another thing I discovered, or I've been discovering, the cold makes my, I feel the cold and I feel stiffer when I get up and down and I'm walking, and when I sit too long and everything. I feel the cold longer in Ohio than I did in Florida. It was always warm, always nice. I was always loose and fluid and you know, could easily move around and do what I wanted to do. And I'm finding that harder here in Ohio. So that's another thing. But I am glad to be back. I'm glad to be back home where all my stuff is. There's a lot to cut up on this. Not only is there a nice border, there's a horse. These have, if you see that, it's got an area to cut out. So I cut those out separate. I'm going to have a nice little box full of stuff. Okay, now this is going to be easier. Now, I'm not getting all that perfect because I am not a perfect person, and I'm glad to see there's only just a little bit of flowers to cut around on the bottom. And like, even though I like that, I do get I get impatient. I don't have a lot of patience. So that's why I tend to work fast in my journals, because I'm not a real patient person to sit around and be real detailed and careful. I know this is probably very tedious for most of you, and I may have to not even talk and just speed this up. But there again, now you know what I do sometimes? I speed up things. When I'm watching videos, I'll speed up the sound to like 1.5. So a 20-minute journal is like only 15 minutes, 20-minute video. And then I can watch more videos and I still get to hear all the conversation. And I can follow it pretty good. Now, if it gets up to 2, which is the fastest, I have a little bit of a hard time following it. So this is going to be very cute on the cover of something. I think I'm going to put it on the cover of a journal. Could be even this one. This is the one I was working in this morning, and that might be very cute on the cover. See, it kind of blends in a little bit in this, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like when I get it cut out. So, yeah, I've been watching videos, and I was so tempted while I was driving to put a video on and just listen to the conversation, but I know I would keep looking at it, and I don't think that was a good idea. So I held on and did not watch any videos while I was driving home. Boy, did I ever have nice weather to drive home on. I was so glad that I stayed the extra time and I didn't try to drive through the ice and the bitter cold weather, because the day I drove back, it was sunny. It was just gorgeous. And I didn't wear a jacket the whole time. And I rolled down the car window and got some fresh air, and it was just very fun. I wonder if I'm even in camera range here as I'm doing this. But I started, like I did, I worked in my journal this morning, and I thought I need to be doing this on camera, but the room was so cold I didn't want to go in. I was just having my morning coffee, and I had found a box full of things, and I thought, well, I'll just use up these little things. And so I played in this little journal here. I love this little journal. And I think it's because I love the cover so much. And it's, these were my husband's old papers. Oh, I am getting close to being done. These are my, this one I won't be able to use unless I can find those. I need to put some tape around these. But these are, my husband kept a planner, and so these are some of the planner pages that he didn't use. I don't even think it. Oh, 1990. Well, it's 1997, but I know he wasn't doing it in 97. But anyway, I really love using these. So is this going to look okay on here? I don't know. I think it's kind of lost on there. It's lost on there kind of like the other one. I might use it somewhere else. But anyway, I'm wanting to get some more borders cut out. So there is one that I can use in different places. Okay, I've made a big mess here. I need to take some of these papers out of the way and kind of show you what I've done. So let's see here. Now I've cut out these and I've cut these up. And I've got glue all over my hands. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these so that they fit on any corner. And it's nice that they have a center piece. And that way, if I want to put them I can overlap. This way it wouldn't work. So I can cut. Now I left the rosebud on this one. Now I can just do this. And then I can use these for another page. So I think you can cut your borders out of any book and still have, they'll fit any journal you're using. So I'm going to cut this and this, and I'm going to cut it right there and just in the middle, but somewhere where I don't really cut off any specific piece. I'm repeating myself here. Now, we'll do the same there. One more. I love how these have a nice cutting point for each one. Now that needs to be trimmed a little bit, okay? and maybe here, but I'll see that when I'm using it. So I've got some borders set aside. And oh, now it's funny because you can actually use, on this one, you can use the other side of, because the borders were two-sided. But I didn't cut them exactly straight on the other side, but it could be trimmed to fit. So that's kind of a bonus on these. You're not going to find that in every book, of course. But probably any kind of a book like the one I just used, you would find something very similar to that. If it's printed on there and printed on both sides, it's likely to be evenly printed. Okay, let me gather these up. And I did cut out not sure why I have, oh, I guess I didn't gather this one up over here. Okay, there we go. And I have some straight sheets left from ones I have already used. Because, of course, I was playing in my book and was not turning the camera on because I'm just bad. Oh, don't want to throw that guy out. He might be something I want to use. Now, I also cut this out. The medieval French considered it the flower of loyalty and consistency, and they're talking about the columbine is an ancient flower. And so that would be good text to add. Now, I did go ahead and take apart the book. Oh, here's some more pieces because I used that. I took apart the book. This was the cover, the paper cover, and I still have to cut out around there. And I'm going to make this horse not a unicorn, and that's going to be in my picture, and it can either be cut out or ignored. So we've got that. Here's how I used those words. Holly was planted during the Middle Ages to protect against evil magic. So that's kind of an interesting thought. These dark blue pages, these are the end papers. Absolutely gold to use. These are little phrases about different flowers. The pansy, known as the thoughtful flower, the pansy was also called heart ease, for it was used to comfort the pains of the heart. Legend tells that a drop of the juice from the pansy in the eye of the one you love will make him love you in return. Well, good luck with that. But anyway, these are fascinating, and I'm going to cut them up and add them to my journal in different places. And I still have these, and I have to choose But if I don't cut out on the outside, I can choose either one if I'm careful. If I'm more careful with my cutting. But I've got these still to cut out. So, what I was doing, and the reason that I got all this out was because I was working in this book. And this is an old griddle cake recipe that I used from the time I was first married, which was 50 years ago this March, next month. And I was given a book by my grandmother, Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, I think. Just an old one she had. And this is bugging me. I need my scissors. This is bugging me. Okay. So anyway, I used this recipe for years and years and years. I had this recipe in my cookbook. I painted this recipe on a block of wood and set it on top of my stove just because I used it so often. I didn't want to keep looking it up. I don't know whatever happened to that. But I ran across the paper. It's no longer in my it's no longer in my recipe box for some reason. I don't know why. And of course my recipe box is packed up somewhere and I have no space to put it out. So don't know where my recipe box is going to go anyway. But that is the best recipe for pancakes ever. I will tell you, this is an old cookbook from the 30s, and nobody can read that except me because I've memorized it so well. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2.5 teaspoons baking powder, 1 tablespoon granulated sugar, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1 egg, 3/4 cup bottled milk, or 6 tablespoons evaporated milk and 6 tablespoons water. Now I always use regular milk. And 3 tablespoons melted butter. So anyway, you put all the dry ingredients together and then add the wet ingredients. You make kind of a well in that and add your egg and your milk and your butter, and you stir it all up. And it makes fabulous pancakes. So that's my little trick. Anyway, this is a page that I've done. I have a little tip out here. I was working on this. Oh, in here, remember these? You just cut around a playing card with a hole puncher, and they look like stamps. So any playing card works really nice. And then this was a stamp that was given, this was a stamp that I got on a magazine. Oh, no, this was given to me. This was given to me in a box of stuff from a woman who was moving. And she couldn't take all of her art supplies, so she just packed up the stuff that she wasn't using, and I took it. And I could use probably a good half of what she gave me or more, and then I passed along the rest of those supplies to someone else. So anyway, this was part of this book here, and there, the apple is the fruit of autumn. This was a postcard book that I used all the postcards out of. So now I need something for that. That's too big, but I'll find something for that side. And this was a Valentine that I gave to my son back when he was playing trumpet. And of course, he doesn't keep his Valentines, but I liked it. So anyway, I kept it, and I thought, oh, it makes a good, I'll need to cover that because there's no need for that. But for now, that's it. This is a postcard, and it comes out. These are glued in, but this postcard will come out, but I've got it in there pretty good. This is the card for journaling that goes in this, but I just put it over here for whatever reason. This page is unfinished. I'm still looking for a spot for my unicorn. I know that when I find the spot, it'll be the right one, and this isn't it, I don't think. I have to cover that up, but maybe, not sure. But that's just the background for right now. And that would be a great way to use your border. So don't know if I wouldn't want to use that one, but there are, oh, maybe this pink one might be better. And the nice thing about the corner pieces is you can use them on any corner. So that's kind of cute. I kind of like that. I kind of am happy with that. Now, I don't want to make it a full border, but I kind of like that. So, let me think about it. And I'll just go through really quickly. This might be, I like that better. I like it on that color for some reason better. And I'm looking for a head for this person because I cut that picture up. And I went through and I found out I had a lot of pages that needed some help. It would have been fine if I had not put that on there. I would have to shorten that. So I wouldn't want to cover up that. And I would have to use one of the borders that doesn't have now see, I like that border better. I like that. Let me see, do I have a taller border? Yes. I think I would put this one there and this one there. Yeah. I like that. Okay, I think I'm going to put that on. Now I'm just going to use this . And having borders cut out already in anticipation is always good. So I don't like this yellow that's come up. Let me see. I'm wanting to add a little bit more border to this one. But I want to get it on there before I cut it. There. And on this one, I'm going to fool the eye. Because I didn't cut it straight, but it's going to look straight when anybody looks at it. Okay. Now, since I have extra, I could bring this one up a ways. And maybe just a hair more. On this. No, I don't like that. Maybe one of these teeny weeny pieces. Should I cap that off with that? Gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out. This is the bottom piece. I don't really want to ruin the whole piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself another small piece like that. And we'll come back to that. some more in the book. Just pages that are unfinished. Kind of unfinished here. Still trying to find a spot. This cat's going to be glued in right there. And I have these pages that I've done time and again. Oh, I did put a border on this one and added a border here just with washi. Been kind of playing with this, putting in a few extra details. So anyway, this book you haven't seen in quite some time. It's just not, that's just not right. This I'm covering up. I'm going to grab myself some gesso and put a wash over that, and then just put a focal point. Too busy. Anyway, these are some of the pages that I've done. Oh, not quite big enough for that, but, and this paper, this needs repaired. Easy enough to do. I'll do it on this side. I'll show you how I'm repairing these pages. I have duct tape. And it won't pull through the duct tape. And the duct tape is very sticky. So once it's down, it won't come up without tearing it. So that is how I've been repairing those pages, because several of them have come out. This was really thin paper, and I probably should have glued it. There, now it's in. And I could put duct tape on both sides, but I think one is enough. And that's my play journal that the ring journal that I was just testing out. And I am going to say I love the ring journals. And I might use larger rings and change these rings out, because they're just odd rings. But anyway, that's it. That's all I'm going to do today. And that's all about getting corners. Making corners and having corners ready for your pages. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. By the way, I've got a lot of new subscribers, and I've gone over 800. So I'm going to put together a trashy junk journal, and I will probably use this. And what I will do is I will fill this with all kinds of supplies for and oh, this would be nice to put in it, to send this in it. Oh, I haven't finished cutting it. I will make a trashy junk journal, and it'll be completely filled, and I will do a video on the junk journal and do a video on my giveaway. So watch for that. That should be coming up this week. And I'll put this together and we'll see what we can come up with. And we'll do a giveaway for my 800 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing and sticking with me and being there. I've got to get an envelope to save all my little corner pieces, and I will say goodbye in my big mess here and talk to you guys later.